When I just remember when I started, when I came to Amaravati, I had never done an email before anything. So, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I can get around it. Yeah, maybe I don't have to learn all of this stuff, but was not possible. But meanwhile, I can do all kinds of things. I was afraid to even turn on the computer. So now a lot has changed. This is a very good example, how the mind can be trained by just familiarization. And meditation is nothing different from that. Just seeing over and over again when the mind goes into great, triggering or great elation or great fear, and seeing it, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And once, we really see that often enough, that has an effect. The same with turning on the computer. Once I thought when I turn it on, I might ruin it. Meanwhile, I've turned it on a million times. Doesn't cross my mind anymore. So it's just, really stepping forward and stepping into it and seeing for oneself rather than being lost in stories about it. And I have brought another poem to share with you. And again, I'm going to read the Therigatha from the Pali Canon first. And there will be a link in Sangamita's um, article to a website which is called terikatha.org, and it has many different ways how you can learn about the poems of the early Buddhist nuns who lived around the time when the Buddha was alive, the first ones, and then it's those 78 poems has been written in a time span of about 300 years, and they have come to us in Pali, in the Pali canon, but they're also available in translations, like in many different languages, on the Sutra Central website, and that will be in that link as well. And a friend of our monastery in California, his name is Mehdi Weingast, wrote uh, his own poems, which are inspired by those Therigatha. And so I'm going to read first the original from the Pali Canon, and after that, I'm going to read the inspired one by Mary Weingast, which is contemporary and speaks to me very deeply, some of those poems. Bhadra Therigatha. Having gone forth out of faith, appreciate your blessings, Bhadra. Develop skillful qualities for the sake of that unsurpassed safety from all that holds you back. For the sake of that unsurpassed safety from all that holds you back. And that what holds us back, when we look at the Buddha, we see the purity. There's nothing anymore holding him back. And the unsurpassed safety from all that holds you back, that's the wisdom and the compassion you know, which was cultivated through being on the path and appreciating the blessings of having made a connection with the path and having the leisure time and having the health and having the mental faculties that we are able to understand the instructions and can develop those skillful qualities and walk the path. And then Maddie's poem, it's called Lucky. You always considered yourself lucky because things seemed to work out the way you wanted. Now, luck has a different meaning. Lucky to be walking a path that finds peace in the arising and passing away of each present moment, regardless of how things work out or don't. Regardless of how things work out or don't. And that is that unsurpassed safety from all that holds us back. Because usually, we are kind of worrying about the future, having remorse about the past, and being held back through that. And if there is no more craving for particular outcomes, then we can walk this path regardless of how things work out or don't. And there can still be all kinds of emotional patterns, coming up, like fear and uncertainty and excitement and whatever. But we can know that. We don't need to become it. We don't need to identify it with it and then become the fearful one or the excited one or whatever. We can just know there's excitement, there's fear, and all of the different emotional patterns, which get activated if we are stepping out, if we are walking and not held back, by all those considerations, but just knowing what is present and going forward with the stream of life as it presents itself. And all of us, we have this great good fortune that we have met the path and have understood enough that we can be bothered, to invest our time into a weekend retreat such as this, which already requires, a certain amount of understanding of priorities. Because otherwise you'd never dream about doing something like that. Many people would find it a very strange way of spending a weekend. So, you can congratulate yourself for having that amount of understanding already. That's already very far down the road, actually. So, yeah, I feel, I have really said everything what I wanted to say in regards to those four protective meditations. And now it's really, it's up to you to put it into practice and to, cultivate the circumstances so that you feel empowered to do this, that you feel encouraged to do this, and making choices, making decisions, letting go of certain things which are no longer necessary for you to feel, that you're really being your best possible self, quote unquote, not self. And sometimes, we can really surprise ourselves that we have actually much more strength and much more depth and perseverance than what we think. But for that, we have to just try it out and try it on. And in particular, be spending time with people who are also going in a direction and maybe even a bit ahead of us. So we feel like a sense of friendship, spiritual friendship is so important, to not spend so much time with people who drag us back or drag us down. And sometimes, we might have certain responsibilities which we need to, of course, take care of, but also take care of ourselves. That's really important, to find, the right uh, middle way here. So, yeah, I'm wondering, is there anyone who would like to comment or ask something or clarify something in those last few minutes we have? I'd be very happy to try to help. If there's anything left, you could raise your Zoom hand. Kim? Yes, Kim?
what do the teachings say about making amends?
Making amends.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, I mean, all of us as, our goal is to do better. And but I don't know, I've just been thinking lately about relationships even from long ago when I was less, I didn't have the skills.
Yeah,
And
I relate
I'm
to that.
wondering, anyway, I'm just wondering, it does, I mean, I can know that I didn't have the skills and I can forgive myself that I did what I could do at that time. And yet, it's niggling. It's like that little pricker.
Okay, yeah, I get it. I know what you mean from my own life. I think what's important is, to uh, reflect on death. Imagine yourself lying on your deathbed, and what unfinished business would come up, where if you feel, I really need to kind of go and make connection and try to iron that one out. I think it's very simple. It sounds like a bit tough, but it's very simple. If you imagine yourself, I would somebody, even was it you who brought up 1 year to live that book? Wasn't it you, Kim? So that's the answer. Imagine you have a week to live. What would you need to kind of straighten out, before you die, if you could? And then you try, and if you can't, if that's not possible, because maybe the other person isn't open to it, you can write a letter. And if you don't know where they live, you can just speak it into space. You can definitely do something. I think that's the solution. Because I've just recently experienced it, because I'm gonna go next month. I'm gonna go on a 6 month sabbatical to Austria, and a certain person now comes up in my mind regularly. I haven't thought about that person for 20 years. But there is something. I don't even know exactly what it is, but I definitely gonna try to make contact, and I hope they will agree to meet with me, because they are not Buddhist or anything, so I'll see. But I definitely need to do something about it. I don't even know exactly what it is, but there's something not quite aligned, and I'm sure, if I would be on my deathbed, that person will come up, and I feel uneasy. And then, if you prepare for death, we don't want to have anything to weigh us down if we can do something about it. I think that's the way to do it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anyone else with something to clarify? Okay, so there's nothing, so that's good.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yes. Um, what if somebody has wronged us in a very significant way? And really does not want us in their lives? And what if this person is a family member?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm imagining the deathbed scene, and the only thing I can think of is sending them loving kindness and trying to forgive them. But I don't want to be reconnected, because it's been years of somewhat abusive ways of being treated.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I think, if that comes up, yeah, send meta really, but include yourself also in the meta, when you do the radiation practice, you're always included too, it's because knowing what has happened and kind of forgiving, but you can't really forget it because it has happened and it was very heavy, and you just make some space around it and let it move on. Yeah, because but not just because for them, but also for yourself, because when you can let that go, it's also good for yourself, you know. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes things cannot be, sorted out on a one-to-one level because there is such a different level of understanding the world and understanding the practice and all of those things. So
I uh,
it
I
is,
really I really think that it's ancestral in nature, um, which compounds it.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then probably it's just best to let it go, so that at least you're not going to perpetuate that whole drama, and you just say, with a lot of kindness, okay, thank you, goodbye, and you turn away because there's nothing which you can do about it. And sometimes that's the only way to do it, is to not do anything.
Well, your response feels like a great relief, do
Thank
you
you.
know, because there's something in me that wants to kind of try to make this right. But I have to say, I'm just weary, weary, weary. I don't want to do anything more.
Yeah,
I'm done.
you're done. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way. You're done with it. Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and when at the end we're gonna do a little blessing chant, and then you can just hold that situation in your mind. Knowing you're done, and taking that as a way to really confirm that to yourself you're done with this, and that's like a closing of that whole chapter in your life. And then it might come up again, but you remember, no, you have done what you could, and it's over now. And will take some time to really settle down there, but you have to start at one point, and it can be today. Dedicating all of the good energy, of dedicating all of the merit of this weekend with the situation for to just clear it and be done with it. Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
like a little ritual can really help to fix the decision, in somehow, to make like a real statement to yourself about, and can be helped, if lots of people witnessing it here. We are like almost 30 people and we all hear you say that, that makes it more powerful.
I already said it. I'm done.
Okay, great. Congratulations.
Thank,
We all,
thank you for witnessing, and thank you for the 30 people that heard it.
yeah, great pleasure to all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Kathy Fairland, we can't hear you, Kathy.
I
Now.
have, yes, I had a question regarding practices around death,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are kind of motivated by the belief in reincarnation,
Hmm.
that we're coming back, and so that's what we're preparing for. If we aren't, I'd say I'm agnostic on this issue because I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but that kind of uh, decreases the motivation if the only motivation is coming back.
Yeah.
And I wondered if there was a way to frame that so that's not a stumbling block.
I understand what you're saying because quite a few people say that, and I think it's not that you need to believe in reincarnation in order to bring up that kind of motivation, but more like suspending any judgment, just the don't know mind. So then, if there is reincarnation, then if you suspend any judgment, then you are taking care of it by doing that practice. And if there is not, then at least, you have done some practices which gives you more ease right now, So you can't really lose by doing these practices, and keeping an open mind. You can't really go in the wrong direction if you just say, I don't know if there's reincarnation or not. I just don't know. Or it's rather rebirth. I think we call it rebirth rather than reincarnation. So if you just say, I don't know, then you can still do those skillful practices, and then you have more ease in the present. And if there's rebirth, then you have more ease in the present, plus it's going to be beneficial for the next birth. So whatever, however you look at it, as long as you don't, what I would find not a good idea is to completely rule it out, because you don't know. You can't, you don't know. And if somebody else says they do know, that's not sufficient for you, because they could be wrong. So you never can think yourself through this until you know for yourself. And until that time, you keep an open mind, because you also don't know if it's not true. You can't know. You can only say you don't know. And there's a tons of things we don't know, really. We don't know, if we're going to be alive in an hour, and we still keep going. There's so many things you don't know, and you still live a normal life. And with rebirth, is nothing different. It's just another thing you don't know. We don't need to make a big deal out of it, because you don't need to sign the dotted line saying, I believe in rebirth, in order to practice, meditation. But it's a it's a subject where there's lots of views on that. And some people have very strong views in both directions. And I think it's just good to keep an open mind about it, as long as one hasn't had an experience, which convinces you or me that this is so. You just don't know until then. Does that help? Okay. Okay, thanks. Marilyn.
Hi, thank you. I wanted to thank you for the permission you gave us at the beginning of the retreat to be participate as much as we can, and it's all right to not feel here, because I wanted to be so much in your presence for the richness of your teachings, and I've struggled a lot to be here. I realized I don't have to see you physically to be here. I can be present without that physical, visual presence. And I just want to thank you, because I feel this has I've been lifted up, lifted out of those constraints. And with your teachings and this sense of being in community and retreat has been very enriching and very healing. And I just want to steal this opportunity to thank, because I know everybody here wants to. So thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Great you could come. Yeah, and I thank Sangamita for her. There's somebody, Kathy, you have to turn off. Great, thank you. Because otherwise we have the feedback or something strange. So thanking also Sangamita, for having hosted the retreat and for, invited me to come to Kenmore. Otherwise I wouldn't know about this community. And, and I'd be happy to come again, Sangamita, at another time, to do another retreat wherever I am, because we can still do an online retreat anytime, isn't it? So yes, I'd be very happy. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be with all of you, and this is a lovely theme to teach about, which I really like. And I haven't seen many teachings on it, so that was something new we found. So we'd be very happy. We also taught that just in May for Spirit Rock online retreat. So yeah, I think
Ayya,
yeah.
when you're on your sabbatical, will you be visiting your teacher?
No, I go to Austria, to my home country, and I will be there. And then maybe on the way back, if COVID allows, I would come back via Asia to California, and then I would visit my teacher. Yeah, but I don't know yet if that's possible with the whole COVID scene. But I
So he's still alive, the very first teacher.
no, he's not. He's not.
Oh, okay.
He's not. He died 1993, the first teacher. But I would like to go to visit his monastery one more time, because I like to stop international flying as soon as possible because it's not very good for the environment. But I would like to go one more time to the monastery and yeah, just find some kind of closure. But another of my teachers, Arjun Sumedo is still alive. He's in England. I'm going to teach in England in December, so I might see him. And then my Tibetan teacher, who is, in Nepal and at certain times, so I can see him maybe on the way, when I come back I come back either in January or in April, depending on how the COVID situation is. Yeah,
And you'll see your family?
yeah. The I will see my family, yeah, and I will stay in Vienna and do a little bit of teaching and just. I haven't been back, for longer than for just short visits. Haven't been back for 30 years, so it's going to be very interesting. And yeah, and as I said before to Kim, there's a certain person now, he always crosses my mind. So that's kind of interesting, which I wouldn't have expected. So there's obviously still things to be done. And I also want to look in the possibility to maybe, start a little branch of Aloka Vihara in Vienna, maybe, I don't know. So it's just like a time of reassessing everything and seeing how it unfolds. But online, I can always, reconnect with you, Sangamita, and maybe we can organize a retreat again in 2 years or so, that'd be nice. I'd be very happy to do that.
2 years is too long.
No, but next year you're gonna have Ajahn Brahmavara, she can teach a retreat. She's a very good teacher, very good, well versed in the suttas, and I know her. I lived with her about 10 years in Amaravati, so she's going to be, giving you very good dhamma as well. And she stayed now because of COVID. She got caught in Thailand, and she stayed like over a year there at a place, Ajahn Ganha's monastery. He's the nephew of Ajahn Chah. So I'm sure she has a lot of good things to share. Yeah. So I think that's all I wanted to say and share with you. And I could now just do a little chanting at the end, sharing the blessings of the retreat. And each of you, you can hold the situation in your heart while I do the chanting, Suzanne with your family member, and Kim, with the situation you have been mentioning, and I'm sure all of you have something. And for Sangamita and Kenmore Theravada Buddhist community, for the project, may it be successful, and may the, everything work out in the way you envision it. And Tamika, for your husband, that everything will go fine, and you can also find some time to look after yourself. Yeah. And Stephen, you said you're gonna visit your parents. That might go well. Your way of connecting and you know, giving them more a sense of that you're really connecting and being there for them, and whatever all of you have, in your life, what is at the moment, at the forefront, you can hold that in your mind while I do the chanting. I'm gonna do the victory chant. It's a bit longer, but I think it's a great one. Shayanto Bodhiya Mule Sakyanang Nandivatano Ewang Tawang Vichayo Ho Hichaya Suchaya Mangale Aparachita Palanke Sise Patavipokare Apiseke Sappaputanang Akapato pamotati sunakatang sumangalang supapatang suhutitang sukano sumuhuto jasuyitang brahmachari supatakinang kaya kamang vacha kamang patakinang mano kamang Panitite patakina patakinani katwana la pampate patakine. May you have every good blessing. May all the devas protect you by the power of all the Buddhas. May you ever be well. May you have every good blessing. May all the devas protect you by the power of all the Dhamma. May you ever be well. May you have every good blessing. May all the devas protect you by the power of all the Sangha. May you ever be well. So sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And also, Sister Damatina, thank you so much for coming and listening to the teachings. It was very lovely to have a sister with us.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
I'm surprised we never met at Amarati.
Amar-
I spend a lot of time there.
okay, I have left Amaravati 2009. So I haven't been there for a long time, but I was there from 2090, from 1992 to 2009.
No, maybe I had left then. Who knows? Anyway, I remember Sister Chandrasiri.
Yes.
I studied under her
Yes.
at Samedo.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. No, I've never met you there. Well, there's a lot of coming and going there, isn't it? It's a big.
Maybe I wasn't a nun then. I was a lay person. Maybe we just passed.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
But anyway, thank you for your teaching. I've enjoyed it immensely. And maybe I'll see you in England.
Yes, I'm gonna teach it at Gaia House in December of this year, if COVID allows.
Then I will look. If it's online,
Yes.
I will certainly come, but I don't travel now because of my health.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
I won't be able to see you otherwise. But I found all your stuff online. So I've got stuff there to keep me busy.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Okay.
nice to have met you, and thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you, Sangamita. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sangamita.
Thank you, Ayya.
Thanks, Sangamita.
Welcome.
Thank you, Ayya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You,
Bye,
Ayya.
everybody.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
everybody.
you, Sangamita.
Thank you.